Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Tree Service Marketing Profits Podcast. I'm your host, Wesley Smith, and thanks so much for joining and watching this. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel. We've got plenty more expert interviews coming up and cool things that are affiliated with the tree service industry. If you're on the podcast, like and subscribe to our podcast. We're on all the major podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Google Play, all the other ones. But yeah, today we've got a special guest. We met at the TCIA Expo in Charlotte, and these guys do a really cool thing, I think, to help you guys kind of streamline your sales process and estimating process. So I wanted to bring him on to kind of share what he does. So welcome, Jeff. It's Jeff Wraley with Groundwork. Welcome aboard, man.
Yeah, Wesley, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So we got to talking and chatting at the TCI Expo and just kind of went over some of the things that they do for like the home services industries. And they've got some clients in the tree service space too. And Jeff's going to share today kind of what tools they have to help kind of streamline that sales and estimating process for the tree service space. So Jeff, yeah, let us know what you do, where you do it and how you do it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, thank you for having me on. I'm excited to kind of continue our conversation and share a little about what we do with your audience. And I mean, really what we do from a basic standpoint is, with my background in contracting and in several different trades and commercial and residential, the problem became apparent that, man, contractors spend a lot of time driving across town for appointments. Sometimes they're not so productive. Sometimes there's no shows from homeowners, or just different aspects of the kind of the traditional sales process. It can be challenging, and an inefficient, labor intensive, time intensive process. And so what we've developed is a way to streamline the process and make it easy for tree care companies and other home improvement types of contractors to get better information from the homeowner about their needs before they do a sales appointment. So the idea being, get a video from a homeowner, make it easy for them to submit a video of the work they're looking to get done through our platform, and welcome them into that process, make it really easy and like a high-end, like really quick, convenient way to get started, and then provide that information to the contractor in a really easy to view way, so that they can decide, hey, this is a project that's a great fit for me and that I'm would love to go after. It's worth my hour drive out there to get maybe better eyes on the project. Or sometimes it's not worth your time, and you might not quite want to go and do the cut down the sapling type of thing. Like maybe you have minimums and different projects that you do take on or don't. And so we've seen a lot of success in the outdoor living space and home remodeling, painting, and through the outdoor living and like kind of green industry stuff. We've got a couple of clients in the tree care space. So it was really fun to get out to the TCI Expo in Charlotte a couple weeks ago and kind of see what the tree world has for us. And it's been exciting to follow up on the leads and bring on some other tree care folks onto the platform, and we're excited about how we can serve the tree care industry.
Awesome, man. Yeah, thanks for the overview. I think so. Yeah, the problem is that people have to go on these estimates. Tree service companies specifically, they've got to go on estimates. They've got to drive around. And a lot of tree companies, maybe they've made the decision to purchase some smaller vehicles for that riding around to save some of the fuel costs and things like that. In fact, I just interviewed a company up north for our podcast a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, and they've gotten some of those smaller little electric vehicles, right? And they're wrapped with their tree service branding, so they don't have to drive around the bucket trucks and the chipper trucks to go give estimates, because that could be very costly. And so that's kind of the problem, is like it's very costly to go and constantly do in-person sales appointments and estimates, especially if you're like in a major urban area or big city or a vast area where you're covering 30 miles, right, in every direction, or 50 miles. So I think the solution then is well, if I can get 50% of people to do a video, or even 40% or 70%, you can kind of increase your numbers as you go, just by kind of learning how to coach people on how to do this for you, for your
Yep.
company. I think the customer is going to get probably an estimate a lot faster, right? And they'll know what the price is going to be probably faster. And then B, yeah, like you said, the tree company knows whether it's worth their time to even pursue this particular project. Whereas if they got to drive an hour out there to go see it, including traffic and everything else, it's costly. Plus, it's something that they could have avoided in the beginning by just getting a video. So yeah, the expo was awesome, man. It was a huge thing, big gathering of tree companies. I'm sure you probably talked to a few of them, but that's kind of what I see. Like that's the problem.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the solution, right?
Yeah, and what we've as we've gotten more and more into the tree care world, I mean, there's all sorts of interesting applications. Some of it is, storm related or just maybe age related type of issues of the tree that needs to come down just because and reach the end of its life and it's dangerous to the house or other structures. There's plant care that we've had some really interesting conversations about.
Sure. Yeah.
And then doing that from afar is certainly seems like a possibility. We haven't had somebody really jump on that yet, just because we're kind of new in the space. But then the other stuff is the storm. I know many contractors will travel for that, or maybe there's maybe it's not traveling to New Orleans or somewhere afar, but if it's kind of in your area but maybe a little far afoot from where you normally would go, I think there's opportunities to in that time frame. Our service is really shines when there's a influx of leads. So
Yeah.
for some contractors that's seasonal, just springtime, which I would imagine there's some of that in the tree care industry. Again, we're still learning a bit, but when there's an influx of leads and it's like, hey, which ones do we go after? Which ones are simple? Which ones are super complex? Which ones are a fit? Which ones aren't a fit? Our service really helps contractors understand that. And one of the things I'll mention is that we are not a lead aggregator. We are not a lead source. We don't do that. We are more so partners to those, I think, like you, Wesley, that assist in that through marketing campaigns and other means. But we're really a partner to the contractor. We provide them a service that makes it easy for them to run a smoother sales process. So think about it more of like a tool in the tool belt as opposed to like lead generation. It's just like, hey, here's a tool that you can use to make sure you're smartly attacking the leads that do come in, so that can be really effective and make the most out of that sales funnel.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I wanted to have you on, because I think it would be beneficial for a bolt-on service to what they're already doing, or perhaps even a standalone if they want something to streamline that whole sales and estimating process. One of the things that popped in my head when you were talking about the storms, we had a handful of clients that went down to the hurricane down in Florida. A lot of them were down in the Fort Myers area, Sarasota area. And like you said, there was an influx of tree work to be done and debris removal and hauling and all kinds of stuff. So with that particular application, that tool that you offer, then, they don't have to drive around and do these, eyeball tests and look at it and make sure it's something that they want to do. They can have simply the building owner, the homeowner, go out there, use the tool, the application, take a video of the whole area, maybe walk through it, maybe do a 20-second video, 30-second video, show how you can get in and out, the access, show the actual debris or the tree work, and then from there, just submit it via the application. And then the tree company gets it and they say, yeah, we can be out there in an hour. I mean, I can't imagine how much more efficient that would be than just driving around and knocking on doors. When you knock on doors, if you get there early enough at a storm, of course, those guys can knock on doors and get some work done. But when they start getting calls coming in, because we set up a lot of ad campaigns in that area, then they start getting calls, they start getting leads coming in from people that need this emergency work done. Then this would eliminate all the driving around town, right, to go look at stuff. And then just you would have an idea of what you can do right there on the spot. So
and what we've started to do is integrate, if there's a print advertising element, which in storm season I would imagine a lot more of it's digital, but in a storm event that is, but either way, either through a QR code on a print piece of
Direct mail piece or
advertising.
something. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
get them right to the form so that they can, the way the flow works. Basically, they fill out what we call the kickoff form, and
Mhm.
that is just basic name, phone number, email address. That sends them a text message, so we ensure they're on their mobile device, and it kind of walks them through the process from that text message.
So let's go back to the previous step. So first they get, just so I can visualize this and the
Sure.
audience can kind of understand the flow. So like a lead comes in, right? Like they get
Yep.
a call for a tree service estimate, or they get a text or an email lead for a tree service estimate. The tree service company would then start some sort of sequence that goes to that particular customer, correct? And then that's where
Yep.
you can kind of get them onboarded with this tool and get the video process going. Is that right?
That's right. If the lead comes in through some digital means, we have an embed form that we can put on really any website, landing page. We can integrate with some of the Facebook lead forms type of things. So just like automatically, if they fill out a Facebook lead form, they automatically get a text message from our system that says, hey, thank you for your inquiry. Click this link to upload a video of the work you want to get done and share more about, how we might be able to help you. And so it's just an immediate like speed to lead type of thing. So that's how it happens on the digital side of things. Obviously, we can embed it in the website as like the primary contact us form on the website, which is a very common thing that contractors want to do when they work with us. But if there's a phone call type of situation, hey, somebody just calls into the office and says, hey, I need help with something. The office staff also have kind of a portal where they can log in, and then all they say is, hey, thank you for calling me, Mrs. Homeowner. Go ahead and check your text messages. I'm going to enter your information here, and you should have a text message, and you can share exactly what you want us to do on a video through the link that we'll send you. And so that's kind of the entry point, a couple of the different entry points of the process, but it all basically gets the homeowner into a text message conversation with you, which our system also promotes two-way text messaging. So
Mhm.
after that video is submitted, there's some other aspects of the system that help with ongoing collaboration or clarification.
Mhm.
If, as an example, they don't show site access on the video, even though we kind of coach them through what to include in the video, if they don't show something or you want more information about something else, you can actually ask for more media files, whether it be photos or videos. And that's really what we're going for here, is like high-end, quick, convenient collaboration that gets homeowners what they need quicker and cuts down on the runaround of the sales process.
Yeah, that's what I see too. I mean, it seems to be that if you can cut down on a lot of that just sales and estimating time frame, which sometimes you got to look at something, but in those cases, then you still, hey, you go look at something, right, before you
Right.
do a firm estimate. But in a lot of cases, if it's a big tree in the front yard, you've got perfect access. That's a pretty easy one to probably estimate for the homeowner on a video. And a
Yeah.
lot of times, if you just get images, I think like we talked about before we started recording, is like you get some images, but it doesn't do it too much justice. Like you kind of can see
Yeah.
what kind of tree it is type thing, but the video just helps with seeing like all the surroundings, how the access is to get to the tree or the work that needs to be done. And just more elements that they can see so they can give a more accurate estimate. Now, you may even give an estimate and say, still subject to the on-site. You could still just kind of
Yeah.
give them maybe a range or something like that, right? And
Yeah. And
confirm it up
that's
to get there.
that's a lot of what we see, is and it may be more so in the tree care industry. Again, we're still kind of dipping our toe in the industry here, but it may be a little bit more firm pricing that you can give off a video. But frankly, what we have seen is that sometimes it is still very important to go take a look at it.
Hmm.
I think there's some nuance to that thinking for contractors, because I think many, being at the TCI expos, oh yeah, we can't do this off of a picture. We've heard that a couple of times. It's like,
Hmm.
well, think about a video. If you think about a video, you probably do get a lot more information than you get in a single photo. Um, and one of the other aspects to video is you hear the homeowner talking, right? Like they're literally pointing out what they need, and you just get a lot of other information that you don't get in a photo. And that can be super, super helpful. Even the tonality of the homeowner, you can kind of understand
Yeah.
how to sell to them.
Sure.
There's some of that aspects in there too.
That's cool. Yeah, the industry is definitely evolving, and with all the equipment and things that have been built and different things they use now for tree service. I mean, it's incredible, some of the equipment and machinery, but this is something too with technology that can help them just streamline that process on the sales and estimating, because you have to be out giving estimates. The old saying in business is if you're not making offers, then you're not going to make any sales. So it's like the
Yep.
more offers you can go out there and make, aka appointments and estimates, which is an offer. You're offering to do the tree service work for X dollars or whatever. The more offers you make, the more appointments you go on, the more money you're going to make, because it's basically a numbers game, really. So
Mm-hmm.
the easier you can make that process, I think we'll take out some of the, some of the just the abrasiveness of having to go out, or the friction, I guess is the word I was looking for, the friction of
Yeah.
having to drive out and go do all this stuff and get it done when you don't have enough time in the day to do them all. So this will help kind of streamline that, or keep you guys more efficient, tree service companies specifically, more efficient in fuel cost,
Mm-hmm.
being able to kind of like talk to the homeowner beforehand, being somebody they can talk to, go over the video with them, things like that, just from the seat of your office. Like, you don't even have to be out there. You
Yeah.
could do it from your car or truck too. If you have
Yep.
access to this tool or the portal on your phone, you can then just kind of talk to them and collaborate with them, and then maybe send out an estimate from there. So super beneficial and
Yeah.
convenient for these companies.
Yeah. I've drawn the analogy with the car dealership, car sales industry.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about the way that the traditional or just regular dealership worked, selling vehicles, the 10 years ago, maybe the online sales thing was like kind of not a thing in a
Mm-hmm.
way. It was very much still like go to the dealership,
Yeah.
sit around, poke around, do a
Yeah.
drive, um, and what has happened is that there are full teams set up now with these car dealerships that are just digital sales. Like they are literally, that's all they do. They don't even talk to people that walk on the lot. They just deal with online inquiries and, manage the inventory and, make sure that everything is up to speed on the digital portal, because that's the way people shop now. That's the way
Mm-hmm.
that people are used to doing stuff. So, we have started to see that shift in the way that contractors are structuring their sales teams. We had one contractor in the Cleveland, Ohio area who he had somebody states away selling for him, doing basically just an offsite salesperson.
Right.
So that's a little bit extreme, and our tool has even come a long way since then, and we'll continue to facilitate that type of activity, but that's where it's going.
Yeah.
More so than not. There's certainly always going to be factors in the tree care industry or even home improvement in general that are too complicated to deal with 100% virtually. Like
Yeah.
I'm an engineer by schooling, so like I understand that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors at play in some of these projects, but a lot of them are, if you cut out the kind of the overhead expense of the traditional sales process, and maybe you miss something for a couple $100, kind of doesn't matter if you're, just that much more efficient on the sales process.
Yeah.
You
Your
kind of
costs
make
are
it,
lower. Yeah. Your
yeah,
costs
you
are
just
lower.
make it up on the
You
back
don't
end.
have to cover for that expense of going out the first time and giving the estimate and doing all that. That's probably
Yeah.
60 or $80 right there in itself. When you factor in your
Yep.
time and the vehicle maintenance and the fuel and yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I think this is highly beneficial for the tree care space, which is why I wanted to bring you on. And you're right, everything's kind of going digital, and as everyone, even elderly folks or people getting up in age, keep learning, mobile phones, smartphones, and they keep learning
Hmm.
how to do videos and stuff. Most people know how to record a video now from their phone. So that pretty much says that most all customers could do this potentially. Not that all of them are gonna, want to do that.
Yeah.
Some of them will, and that way the benefit for the homeowner too is that you get an estimate and a price before having to wait 2 weeks for somebody to come out and to give an estimate, or a week.
Yep.
The tree company can kind of streamline that and probably crank those out a lot faster. especially if they've been in business a long time, they know what pretty much every tree type job is going to cost.
Yeah, they probably,
And
especially if you've been around for a while, it's like, I would imagine sometimes they know the house,
yeah,
they did work in the neighborhood. They're like, oh yeah, I know this is
that's true. They'll know the neighborhoods and the lay of the land. Like some of the other a
yeah,
little more complicated, like forestry mulching or land clearing projects, they probably need to go see it. But
yeah,
yeah, the tree trimming, tree removal, tree pruning, tree shaping, all that type of stuff. And like you
yeah,
said, plant healthcare. If they can get a video of like what all the plants are, the shrub layout, all the different things that they're looking to get treated, that'll probably help them put together a price too.
yeah. And we have seen, um, it has been interesting to see how willing homeowners are to jump on board with this.
I mean, it makes
That
it
was a
easier for
big,
them too, right?
yeah, it was a big guess. When I first started the business, it was like, this seems like a great idea for me personally, but I'm like also very hesitant to like assume that everybody else in the world thinks like me and like
Yeah.
kind of operates like that. But um, it has been really cool to see, our average video length, I believe, is over a minute.
That's
So
great. That's a lot of info in a minute. Yeah.
man, you get so much
Mhm.
information on, what the situation is. And I think we do a good job of walking people through it. There's nothing to download for the homeowner. It's like pretty streamlined. If you can send
Mhm.
a text message and use the camera on your phone, like we aren't asking a whole lot more than that.
No,
So
attaching
it's
a video and
pretty
hitting send.
straightforward.
Yeah.
Obviously, as you mentioned, there's probably we have run into people and heard from our customers that you know so and so who's 90 years old, hey, do that person right and just go give them a handshake. It's probably what they want anyways, and like
Right.
that, treat them well because they've been around a long time. And so, like,
Yeah.
just do that for those clients. But other than that, I mean, people are really willing to get going, and especially if you say, hey, this is going to save you time and you don't have to do an appointment, and we can probably give you a rough number of what this will look like
Hmm.
within a matter of hours, if not sooner. Then hey man, most people are up for that.
Benefit for everybody. And yeah, I think
Yeah.
since COVID, people have gotten more acclimated with the digital stuff, video things, and Zoom and FaceTime, all the different things on their phones. So they probably, I mean, it's pretty easy to record a video and hit send, and
Yeah.
attach a video there. So that's good, man. You streamline the process.
Yeah.
Jeff, this has been awesome, man. It's been definitely helpful. I think a lot of people will benefit from this if they're looking to streamline their sales and estimating. How can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, so probably the best way is through our website. Hellogroundwork.com is the name of the website. That's our social handle too on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. So Hello Groundwork is the best place to find us. We are now members of the TCIA as well, so we'll
Cool.
be hanging around that a good bit. And actually, you know what? I think the TCIA magazine that's coming out December, the December issue, we'll have a write up in there. So we talked to some of their team down there, so we'll have a little spotlight in there. But feel free to reach out. And my email, for risk of hopefully not getting a bunch of spam, is just jeff@hellogroundwork.com. If I could make a specific request if you send me an email, let me know. We're still learning, as I mentioned a couple of times, like how this fits in the digital or in the tree space. Um, so would love to get some more activity here and kind of figure out what the opportunities are and how we can be successful partners for tree care companies across the state and beyond. So love to hear from you. HelloGroundwork.com.
Hey, sounds great. All right. Well, yeah, you guys heard it there. So if you guys have any questions, we'll put the link to your website in the show notes and on
Perfect.
the YouTube video. That way they can click on it to find you there and get in touch with Jeff once you go there. But thanks for sharing, man. It's been awesome. It's been eye-opening. I think people will be able to benefit from this process tremendously if they just use it and implement it, I think. So appreciate you sharing today. Well, guys, if you're listening to this on the podcast, like and subscribe to our podcast. If you're on the YouTube channel, go ahead and like our YouTube channel. We got more interviews with experts coming up. And also, if you haven't joined our free Facebook group called Tree Service Marketing Secrets, go search it on Facebook. I'll have a link in the show notes as well to that actual group on Facebook. We share all kind of stuff in there. We've got over 1,000 members in the group now. So anyways, until next time, hope you guys have a great day. We'll talk then. Thanks so much.